Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith has lauded a new presidential permit for the Bridger pipeline expansion, a significant Canada-U.S. oil project, citing years of advocacy by her government. U.S. President Donald Trump signed the permit, which is seen as a partial revival of the controversial Keystone XL pipeline project. This new joint venture between Calgary-based Southbow and U.S.-based Bridger aims to deliver more than 500,000 barrels of Alberta crude daily to U.S. facilities and refineries. Smith emphasized that this approval, alongside a Canada-Alberta energy agreement and Ottawa's abandoned oil and gas production cap, will allow Alberta to produce more oil the world needs, bolstering North American energy dominance. Environmental groups, however, expressed concerns over potential spills. The project, largely utilizing existing pipeline corridors and private land, still requires additional state and federal environmental approvals before construction is set to begin next year. This news comes from City News Everywhere. British Columbia's Forest Minister, Ravi Parmar, has announced that the province expects billions in additional federal support for its vital timber sector. This aid would be crucial if future trade talks with the United States fail to yield a favorable outcome for the softwood lumber industry. Parmar emphasized that BC will leverage every opportunity to remind Ottawa that the upcoming renegotiation of the Canada-U.S. Mexico Agreement, CUSMA, must explicitly include forestry. Should federal negotiators be unsuccessful in addressing U.S. duties and tariffs on timber, BC anticipates Ottawa will double or even triple the more than $2 billion in support already provided nationwide since last August. The minister indicated these funds would be used to diversify the industry and assist affected workers. While optimistic about the federal government's approach to CUSMA regarding forestry, Parmar stated that if issues remain unresolved, the province will not hesitate to demand billions in further investment. Currently, U.S. duties and tariffs on softwood lumber stand at approximately 45%, though the U.S. Department of Commerce has suggested a potential 10% reduction by late summer. This report comes from City News Everywhere. Quebec's minimum wage has officially risen to $16.60 bark per hour, effective May 1 following its settles of $14 increase announced by the government last January. This adjustment translates to a 3.11% raise, impacting approximately 258,900 workers across the province. For employees who typically receive tips, such as bartenders and restaurant staff, their hourly rate is now set at $13.30 per hens. When compared to other Canadian provinces and territories, Quebec's new minimum wage positions it in the middle purring Matsi dollars. Alberta currently holds the lowest minimum wage at $15 an hour, while Nunavut boasts the highest at $19.75 the bartendi dollars. Looking ahead, Ontario's minimum wage is also slated to increase to $17.95 in October. This wage hike comes as a study released by the Quebec socioeconomic think tank IRIS indicated that an individual residing in Montreal would need to earn approximately $30 per hour to live above the poverty line. This report is from the Canadian Press. CBC News reports that a $115,000 annual salary is increasingly insufficient for purchasing a house in many parts of Canada, a stark contrast to 3 decades ago. Mortgage broker Ron Butler highlights that in areas like Greater Toronto, such an income can't accumulate a sufficient down payment for homes often priced near $1 million. While some provinces like Quebec and parts of Alberta still offer relatively lower-priced homes, the list of affordable locales is rapidly shrinking. A report from the University of Ottawa's Missing Middle Initiative reveals that since 2004, lower-end new home prices have surged by 265%, drastically outpacing the 76% growth in young dual-earner incomes. This has made Canada experience the sharpest rise in home price-to-income ratio among OECD countries. The article suggests that wage growth, specifically rising faster than housing prices, coupled with increased home building, is crucial for improving affordability. Soma Gold Corp announced its 2025 year-end financial results, published via newswire.ca on May 1, 2026. The company reported full-year revenue of $87.3 million, a 2% decrease from 2024, with Q4 revenue at $18.2 million, down 27% from the previous year's fourth quarter. Soma Gold experienced a net loss of $2.9 million for the year, contrasting with a net income of $4.2 million in 2024, primarily attributed to a 2-month labor disruption from September 9 to November 5, 2025. This strike resulted in 58 lost production days and significant equipment damage, delaying the El Bagre mill's return to full operating capacity until Q1 2026. The company sold 18,869 alcohol HEA ounces in 2025, a notable decrease from 27,668 ounces in 2024. Despite these challenges, the average realized cash margin per gold ounce sold increased to $1,588 from 96 dollars me and Pyre Verkide 500 in 2026. With strong forecast for HE 2026, FY 2027, and FY 2128. Additionally, the company raised $17.3 million through a private placement and reduced long-term debt by $15 million, including $10 million converted into equity. The company also announced the resignation of CFO Greg Hayes. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.